What's going on, everyone? Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles here on Draft Central for CLNS Media, taking you through the Patriots 2025 draft class. And next up is edge defender Bradyn Swinson out of LSU. He was taken with the 146th pick in the NFL draft by New England. An edge defender, 60 pressures in 2024, fourth among edge according to Pro Football Focus. Fell down the board a little bit. We had him, or at least I had him ranked higher as far as when we were sitting at like pick 106 when they ended up taking Craig Woodson. I don't know if I would want to say prefer, but I would have taken Swinson that early. Ends up falling 40 picks later and falls in the Patriots' lap. So they finally add some more help along their D-line, specifically on the edge in Swinson. A teammate of Will Campbell's at LSU. Will Campbell seems fired up. I know that Bradyn Swinson was fired up as well. He spoke about him and how Will can be a 10-year vet in the NFL. He didn't even say it about himself. He was like, that dude is going to be a baller for us. So he was a guy who was very excited in his post-draft press conference. So we'll get to that. But yeah, tell me what you saw, not only from what you heard about him, but also how you think Swinson, the selection, can fit into New England in this defense.
So Swinson's selection kind of bucked that trend of like, oh, it's the guys that were team captains and the renowned leaders and everyone just gushes about them. Nothing against Bradyn Swinson. Just looking at his scouting reports, there wasn't anything like that in the reports, but there was actually something about how he did butt heads with coaches. He was suspended for a game for not meeting team standards or something along those lines. That was reported by Dane Brugler of The Athletic in the Beast Guide. And it kind of brought me back to a quote that we actually heard from Mike Vrabel when he was asked, are you open to taking risks in the draft? And he said, we're not really taking risks. Like, we want good players that fit our system. We want good people. But also, we're not just trying to build a team of a bunch of good dudes. Like, we can't get what we want done doing that. And that's fair. Like, you can't just say we're not taking you if you weren't a captain, or if you don't have 2,000 community service hours logged in your lifetime, you cannot be a Patriot. Like, nah, bro, do you do the job? Like, can you rush the passer? Can you catch deep balls? Can you throw deep balls? Like, that's what's going to get you on these NFL rosters. And one, Bradyn Swinson, talent-wise, should have probably been taken in the second round. I think maybe it was the character things. He also needs to get bigger. I know he's more of a pure situational rusher.
He said it himself. He wants to add mass, right?
Yeah, he said he was kind of joking that people made fun of him for it because he's like, I'm a speed to power guy, so I guess I got to add some bulk. But that speed is legit. Like, this is a twitchy dude. Ironically similar to Callahan who the Patriots just signed, used to be with Josh McDaniels on the Raiders, another former LSU Tiger, another guy who's more of an outside linebacker, stand-up rusher type in what's supposed to be a 3-3 scheme for the Patriots. 3-3 meaning 3 down defensive linemen, so your nose tackle, defensive tackle, and a defensive end. And then you have 1 stand-up defensive lineman, and then your 2 off-ball linebackers. I think that Chason and Swinson are going to be just pretty much interchangeable in that role, especially in obvious passing situations. Chason's a bit sturdier against the run, so he could probably see more early down work. But hey, you got Anthony Jennings too. So those are 3 guys. I'm like, Harold Landry is probably going to be an every down player for you unless, they just get so much pass rush use from these other guys. They're like, hey, maybe Landry can, take some of the load off him a little bit. But those are similar roles. I could honestly even seeing Swinson replace Chason. He only has a 1-year deal, the veteran. And again, Anthony Jennings probably isn't going anywhere. One of the best edge defenders in the NFL, like elite as a run stopper. So he and Swinson are the perfect combination. Kind of gives you that like Uche Jennings combination you were hoping for, but Uche never really lived back up to those 2022 standards. But I mean, Chason. But Swinson, even though again he doesn't have the run defense, he's got the speed to power where he's got great explosiveness and burst. And then when you open up for his speed, that's when he gets in your chest. And he there's speed to power where you jolt the guy, but then they re-anchor and they figure it out. That's not what Swinson was doing. He was putting dudes on skates and they were getting put like into the quarterback's lap and getting dropped, even though he was smaller than them. So he brings that element. Again, there's still the speed where he has the bend to get around the edge. He can beat offensive tackles' hands. So we talk about like the 2-hand punches. If you beat the 2-hand punch, you basically have a free ride to the quarterback, and he did that consistently on tape. So don't know if he's ever going to be an every down player for you, but like Mike Vrabel said, what are you trying to do to have an efficient team? You want to have an efficient pass game and protect the quarterback, and also you want to affect the other team's quarterback. Very, very few people in this draft did that better than Bradyn Swinson over the past couple of years.
Yeah, and the going away from the, we keep talking about the character draft, like him I guess, not seeing eye to eye with coaches, like that happens all the time in sports. And, you never know what it was and what the root cause of it was. That pops up in the report. And maybe he's not, like you said, the rah-rah captain, but everything we heard from him post-draft or post-selection rather was he's ready to work. He wants to come. He wants to ball out. He loves, again, Will Campbell. Go ahead. You had something there that you thought of.
And also, which is relevant because when those things pop up, you need to do your due diligence. He had 2 Zoom meetings with the Patriots. One was last week, apparently, and he also had an informal, I believe, combine interview. So the Patriots did their homework. I'm sure having Will Campbell on the team now obviously gave them a lot of perspective. And another cool element is that we get some iron sharpens iron there with a really talented edge rusher, the kind of guy that would maybe give Will Campbell some problems. And then them knowing each other, having the familiarity, and just being able to continue to kind of poke each other's press each other's buttons and exploit their weaknesses, but also use those to be like, all right, but I got you next time. I can't wait to see that in camp, man. That's going to be a lot of fun.
It's exciting. And this is one where this is like a day 3 dart throw where it's not necessarily maybe a slam dunk, but he could come in and kick butt. And I feel like that's exactly what he's going to do. He also mentioned, I'm reading this now, where he got some inspiration from Jaden Daniels by carrying the football everywhere. Jaden Daniels carries a ball everywhere. And he was like, well, the football is the program, so I'm going to carry this everywhere. That sounds a lot like Bill Belichick and also Mike Vrabel, who has talked a lot about ball security as well. So,
but not that same football anymore, because he said that was a Commander's football, so he's no longer carrying that around. The Patriots are going to have to get him a new pigskin.
Awesome. So, yeah, Patriots take Bradyn Swinson out of LSU, edge defender, with the 146th overall pick. They go all offense on days 1 and 2, and they start day 3 with 3 defenders: Craig Woodson, Joshua Farmer, and Bradyn Swinson, to start bulking up that defensive side of the football. So things are churning quickly. Times are changing in Foxboro as Mike Vrabel, Elliott Wolf, and Ryan Cowden and the crew start to build out this roster. We'll be here on Patriots Press Pass all day, every day, bringing you the best draft coverage around. So make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. And follow along on Twitter and turn those notifications on for videos as well, so you'll see all of our latest stuff. So until next time, for Tayler Kyles, I'm Mike Kadlick. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, everyone. Prize Picks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all, and all you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. So run your game all season long on Prize Picks, and right now you can cash in on the basketball playoffs, so do not miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court into your Prize Picks lineups, whether it's points, rebounds, assists, or anything. Make sure to just pick more or less, and you get up to 2,000 times your cash. You think LeBron James will get more than 24 points? Think Giannis will score more than 35? Cook up those hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. And all you got to do is sign up today, download the app, and use code CLNS. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Just want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Head over to Game Time and use code CLNS. You get $20 off your first purchase. You can see the Red Sox. They're opening up next week. Patriots back here in Gillette Stadium. Could be good this year. Stephon Diggs just signed. So fun times down here in Foxboro. And if you want to get to a game again, head over to our friends at Game Time. Use that code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.